صباح الخير, مساء الخير, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you are doing very well. Today I have another video for you, and this video is about measure 6 verbs. Measure 6 verbs in Arabic. So I have talked about measure 3. I will provide you with measures with that video in the description box below. Please check that out so you can compare between the two measures. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, and let's jump right into today's lesson. أهلا وسهلا مرة ثانية. Welcome back. So أوزان الفعل الثلاثي. So today I will be talking about measure 6, and measure 6 is reflexive of measure 3. Measure 3. And measure 3, as I talked about last time, reciprocal or mutual verbs. I have two examples here. One is for measure 3, and the other one is for measure 6. Measure 3 is mutual, as we said, a reciprocated action between the subject and the object. So that means we have two parties. One is playing as a subject, and the other party is an object, and I mean the grammatical object. Example number 1, كاتب أحمد أخيه. كاتب أحمد أخيه. And that كاتب is measure 3. كاتب is measure 3. And كاتب came from the verb كتب. كتب. And that كتب is to write, like to write something down. كتب, but here we have كاتب. كاتب being reciprocal. كاتب أحمد أخيه. So that means Ahmed, writes to his brother, and his brother does the same. So as you can see here, Ahmed corresponded with his brother. Ahmed here being the subject because he initiated the writing or the correspondence, and then with his brother. So his brother here is being the object of the sentence. Okay, with measure 6, which is today's lesson, we said measure 6 is reflexive of 3. Reflexive means you do something yourself included. I think in French, in those who speak French, I think it's very obvious. Say, je me lave, je me couche. So that means you do the action to yourself, like you wash yourself, you sleep, you take yourself to sleep. I think in French is very obvious and is very clear. Not so much in English, but in Arabic also works the same as in French. So in Arabic, we add the ta to the kataba, we say takataba. And the example here is takataba Ahmed wa akhihi. تكاتب أحمد وأخيه. So Ahmed and his brother corresponded. That means corresponded to each other. Ahmed is included. So that means, see, Ahmed and his brother, two of them are the subject of the correspondence. They are the subject. There's no object here. But as you can see here, Ahmed is the subject and his brother is the object or the grammatical object, akhihi, his brother. So when that is the case, Ahmed, we use kataba. Why? Because we only have a subject and the object, and the correspondence between the two, the subject and the object. When two of them are the subject, we use say takataba, reflexive. Everybody here is included. And let's take the second example. Badala John usratahu al-hadaya. So John exchanged gift with his family. So I know John here is the subject because he started the exchange of this gift with his family. So his family here is the object and John is the subject, even though the gift also is the object, but is the second object. But here with his family, family is the object and John is the subject. That's why it's badala and not tabadala. Let's move to measure 6. And why is tabadala and not badala? Well, تبادل جون وأسرته الهدايا. So John and his family exchange gift. Like Both of them are subject. John is a subject, and the family also is the subject, two subjects. So when we have two subjects doing the same thing to themselves, they exchange collectively doing the action and actively doing it. And wasn't six. So when we have the scale فعل, here we have تفاعل, that's the scale. The past tense تفاعل, the same as this one. In the present tense يتفاعل, and the imperative is تفاعل, and the verbal noun is تفاعل. So the N has the Dhamma تفاعل, and then the active, which is the subject, is متفاعل, and the object is متفاعل, and the place or the time is متفاعل. We don't care so much about this column here. So let's take some other verbs so we can weigh them against this scale. تقاتل, this is measure 6, and in measure 3 we have قاتل. So قاتل is someone is actively, fighting with somebody else, and that person also, does the same. But here تقاتل, both of the parties do the same thing to each other, to fight each other. تقاتل, he fought, but pretty much they fought each other. يتقاتل, he fights, or they fight each other. تقاتل, that's the imperative. When you want to give an order to two parties or two people to fight each other, you say تقاتل. And if you want to give this قاتل, one person, to fight another person, you say قاتل. تقاتل, تقاتل, both of you تقاتل. And then fighting is تقاتل, تقاتل. And then the fighter who fights the other party, this is the fighter, متقاتل, and the thing that's being fought is متقاتل. تحارب, that's measure 6. If it's measure 3, it will be حارب, but here measure 6, تحارب, is to war or to fight or to combat. تحارب, he fought or they fought each other. يتحارب, he fights, because this is only for he. And if you want to give an order or a command, تحارب, so you commanding two people to fight each other or to combat each other. تحارب. And then the verbal noun is تحارب, combating or fighting. And then the fighter or the combatant is متحارب, متحارب. And then the battle or the things that's being fought over is متحارب. تعاون is measure 6, to cooperate. And from the cooperation, that means there are two parties that they cooperate. If it is measure 3, will be عاون. There's no ta. Measure 3 will be عاون. عاون is to help or to aid. That means one guy here aids another guy, and the other guy also, we assume that does the same. But in this one, both of them cooperate together, as the name here is to cooperate. تعاون. So he cooperated with one another. تعاون. يتعاون, they cooperate to one another or with one another. And then the imperative or the command or the order is تعاون, cooperate. Both of them, both of the parties, you guys cooperate, work together. And then تعاون is cooperating or cooperation. متعاون is cooperator, and متعاون is the thing that's being cooperated upon or on. All right, so let's move to تقابل. If it is measure 3, will be قابل, reciprocal. So قابل أحمد صديقه. Ahmed met with his friend. But تقابل here will be تقابل أحمد وصديقه. Ahmed and his friend. And so for measure 6, we focus on and. So and means we have two subjects, Ahmed and his friend. Ahmed and his mother, Ahmed and his brother, John and Smith. When we see that and, most of the time is measure six. Like the action, this action is done collectively and actively by the two parties. And in this case, John and Smith. So تقابل is to meet one another. تقابل, he met he met Ahmed and Ali met. يتقابل, he meets, sorry. تقابل, that's the imperative. Hey, Ahmed and Ali, تقابل. You guys together meet each other. And then meeting is تقابل. متقابل is the person who meets. But both of them, I can describe them as one person who meets another person. متقابل is the met. تناقش, تناقش is to discuss. تناقش, he discussed with one another. يتناقش, one discuss with one another. تناقش, that is the imperative. تناقش, that's the discussing with one another. متناقش is the discusser who discuss with one another. And then مناقش is the topic that's being discussed. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope this lesson helps you in distinguishing between measure 3 and measure 6. شكرا جزيلا وأراكم في الفيديو القادم إن شاء الله. سلام. Peace.